Hey everybody, Dean Kuluira, IT recruiter at SRA Staffing. Doing a Wednesday evening job search video. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Look, it's middle of the week, but that doesn't mean you slow down, right? I want you to keep on going, keep battling through the week, keep battling through your job search. Hope everybody's learning new things, noticing patterns, making adjustments, pivoting, adjusting, dropping anything that's not working, continuing with what is working. So keep that going. Keep that going if you're in job search mode. Even if you're not, whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're doing in your life, just keep going, keep pushing through. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dean Kulawira. I'm with SRA Staffing. We're an IT staffing agency based in the Yonge and Sheppard area. Again, if you're an IT professional, if you're in the Yonge and Sheppard area, you're gonna be in the area. You're just hanging out in the area. You're passing through. You got a meeting in the area. You want to quickly meet up and tell me about yourself or your background, or you just want to connect. Give me a heads up. At least give me 24 hours notice, and let me know. You're most welcome to visit me at our offices. We're just a little east of Yonge and Sheppard on Sheppard Avenue. It's like a 10-minute walk, I think, from Yonge Sheppard TDC station. So again, if you're an IT professional, make sure we're connected. If we don't know each other, if we haven't spoken, feel free to call me as well if you want to introduce yourself. My phone number at the office Monday to Friday during standard business hours is 416-296-1772 extension 2036. So just wanted to give a quick video today. Like I was thinking today, I remembered something from a few years back when I was working in sales, and it made me tell you guys a little. I wanted to tell all of you a little story as to why you might be hesitating in picking up the phone and calling on recruiters such as myself. Now, why would you want to be picking up the phone and calling on recruiters? Well, it's a great way to introduce yourself. It's a great way to get in direct communication with someone. Email is great, social media is great, but the problem is everybody's using those. Everybody's emailing, everybody's using social media. I myself get sometimes drowned in LinkedIn messages and emails, and it's easy to lose track. And you need to be using the phone. If you want to introduce yourself to recruiters or connect with recruiters such as myself, it's always a good mode of communication to use, in addition to all the other ones, right? So you should be using phone, email, social media. Use it all. Don't depend on one or two, right? You got to use all of them. All lines of communication, use all of them. And by the way, as a recruiter, I do the exact same thing. So another thing you those of you watching my videos and my posts need to know is I never give out advice that I don't take myself, whether as a job seeker or as a recruiter. So as a recruiter, when I reach out to you, and if you're a candidate, you already know this when you're watching, and you're like, yep, Dean uses every mode of communication to talk to me. If I contact you, I'm probably using the phone. I'm using email. I'm connecting with you on LinkedIn. I'm probably messaging you. I'm using in-mails if we're not connected. If I have your cell phone, I'm going to text you as well. So I use all of those modes of communication. And some people call it aggressive. I call it taking initiative. Because if I have a role that's good for you, that might be a good change for your, in your career. Maybe you're unhappy at your current place of work. I have a moral obligation to let you know about the role. So what I'm going to do is use every mode of communication to reach out to you. And that's what you need to be doing in your job search. If you have a great skill set, if you have the tools, the right tool set to help a business or a company with their business problem, whatever that business problem is, it could be software development, it could be something to do with the project management, whatever it is. If you have a skill set, if you have a valuable skill set, if you think you're valuable, you have a moral obligation to get yourself in front of that company or that hiring manager or the recruiter or whoever it is. And the same thing goes again for a recruiter. If you have a great skill set, you are morally obligated to introduce yourself to me, connect with me. If not myself, maybe you don't like me, maybe other recruiters. Like you got to get yourself in front of people, right? Because you have something of value to offer. And in your case, your value is your skill set, the projects you've done, your knowledge, and all that experience you have. Like it's so valuable, and you need to use every mode of communication to get in front of people. Anyway, I'm going on a total rant. What I wanted to talk about today specifically on this video is why you might be a little hesitant to call on recruiters. Now, I put out articles on how to message recruiters effectively. I've done which covers basically email and social media. Now, that article probably has the most likes of all the articles I have. How to message a recruiter. and I think it has like 200 likes or something like that. Might not be a big deal for some of you. I know some of you are probably have like thousands of likes and stuff like that. But for me, it's a big deal. All right. Uh, and I was thinking like why is that article why does that article have 200 plus likes or whatever that count is. It's not because it's well written. I'll tell you that. Okay, I'm not Shakespeare. I'm not the best writer. But it came to my attention is because most people are more comfortable messaging a recruiter rather than picking up the phone. Now, there's many reasons why you might be hesitant in picking up the phone. It could be some belief you have. Maybe you just feel anxious or nervous. So what I wanted to cover in this video is a possible reason you might be hesitant to pick up the phone and cold call on a recruiter or introduce yourself to a recruiter on the phone. The reason why you feel anxious or nervous or hesitant about it, it could be because of the way you receive unsolicited phone calls. Now, I want you to think about that. Think about what I just said. The reason you are hesitant in making a cold call or an unsolicited phone call to a recruiter or whoever it is you want to call could be because of the way you receive those phone calls. And I'm going to give you an example from a few years back. I remember I was working in a sales role at a company. Basically, we were selling IT hardware or IT solutions, stuff like that. And I remember, so basically on a daily basis, we are just hammering the phones, right? I'm talking like minimum 70, 80 calls. Like I was making outbound calls like back to back. And I remember one of my coworkers, she was she was a coworker. She was she was in the same department obviously as us, and really nice person, super friendly, really nice to be around, very kind, funny, cracking jokes, that kind of thing. But I noticed every time it was time to pick up the phone and make a cold call, like make an outbound call to prospect for new business, she'd get very hesitant and she'd delay herself. She'd try get organized doing other stuff and she'd avoid doing it. And it never made sense to me because she was such an awesome person, great personality, friendly, funny, all of that. Like I could not figure out why she was so hesitant about making a cold call. Because it's one thing if you're if you're making your first phone call, your first cold call. But this is a case where someone's repeatedly doing it. So obviously there comes a point where you're used to it, right? So I'm like, okay, what's the deal here? Why is she? This is what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking, what's the deal with her? Like she should be used to it by now. Why is she hesitating or not doing it? Then one day an incident happened which made me realize why. I was sitting on my desk. She wasn't near me or anything, but she was a few desks away. I could still hear what when she's on a phone. So she received an unsolicited phone call. So she was at the receiving end of a sales call, and she picked up the phone, and she just turned into like a totally different human being. She was like mad and angry. She was like, why are you calling me? I don't take sales calls and blah blah blah. And I think she said that if you call me again, I'm gonna do this or that, or don't call me ever again, that kind of thing. So right then and there, when I heard the way she reacted to that unsolicited phone call, and by the way, I asked her later on, like, have these people been calling you all the time? She's like, oh no, this is the first time those people call me. So it's not like it was something repeated where she was finally at a breaking point or anything like that. But anyway, it hit me when that happened. Like, why she's so what's the word I'm looking for? Not hesitant. Why is she so whatever the word is? But you hopefully all of you get what I'm saying. Why was she so unwilling to make the cold call? Well, look at the way she receives the call. I mean, when she gets an unsolicited phone call, she's like, and this was a person again, the first time they ever called her, and she's all getting angry and upset, yelling at them, just being pretty unpleasant, right? Saying some rude things, like I think she was using some swear words as well. So hopefully you're getting my point now. That because when if that's the way she reacts to receiving a phone call, imagine the way you would feel. She must feel when she's making an outbound call. Because if that's your attitude to people who are calling you unsolicited, when you're making an outbound phone call, you're going to be thinking the same thing. You're going to be expecting people to be unpleasant like that to you on the other side of the call, and that's why she probably was doing everything possible to avoid making phone calls, because she was not a pleasant person at the receiving end. She's going in with that mentality that nobody likes, nobody wants to get a sales call, nobody wants an unsolicited phone call, nobody likes salespeople, nobody likes whatever it is, whatever is going through her head, right? So all of that is going through her head when she's about to make a sales call, and the way she reacted to receiving that phone call has an effect on her, because I think as human beings, we can't do some. The way we do something is the way we receive something, or the way we receive something is the way we do something, right? If that makes any sense. So that's my point. So that's what hit me when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, and it's so important. The way that you receive these phone calls as well might have an effect on the way whether or not you're able to make those calls. See, if you were ever around me when I receive an unsolicited phone call, and I get unsolicited phone calls at the office on my cell phone, you think I'm talking to a friend. Like I get so happy and excited when I get a sales call, and I don't care if it's something that I'm not interested in or that I don't want. I don't care if it's something they've been calling me like 10, 20 times. I talk to them because I know what it's like. That's my initial thought. And the other thing is, I don't wanna put out the kind of negativity, some kind of negativity, and then receive that back in. So when I get a sales phone call or an unsolicited phone call, if you saw me, you think that I'm talking to my friend or something like that. I'm joking, I'm laughing, I'm saying, I'm listening, I'm hearing them out. If they babble on for too long, obviously I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to be like, hey, look, I appreciate the call, but I'm not interested. But hey, I wish you all the best. That's it. Hang up the call. Do it pleasant. Now this might sound crazy to some of you. Some of you might be very skeptical. Some of you might think, Dean, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a sales phone call. It has nothing to do with me. And those people just annoy me. They keep calling me, blah, 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 whatever. Look, I'm not telling you to handle it the way that I do. Maybe because I make a high volume of outbound calls, I'm naturally more sympathetic to someone who has to make those calls as well. And I'm not saying you need to buy whatever these people are selling you. All I'm saying is see if it makes a difference. See if it makes a difference. At least try it out. Next time you get an unsolicited phone call, you don't have to buy anything. Be pleasant. Be positive. Be friendly. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything. Even if it's dinner time, let them know, hey, look, I'm having dinner. I'm not interested, but I appreciate your call. Have a good day. Click. You don't have to wait until they go through, keep going through their pitch or anything. But try if that so if you are feeling nervous on the phone, if you're hesitant, what I want you to do is examine how you receive unsolicited phone calls. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Only you know that. I don't know that. Right? So that's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about that. And if it is a case where you're doing that, you're rude, you're being rude or impolite. Look, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. I'm not saying that. But just make that adjustment. See if it makes a difference. See if it changes your perception of unsolicited phone calls. Because if you got to make them, you got to be open to receiving them. Otherwise, you become a hypocrite, right? There's this moral internal thing. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a philosopher. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So make that switch. See if that makes a difference. Because I think that's very important. Because if you're going to be making outbound phone calls to recruiters or to whoever, you need to be handling it in this. You need to set the expectation on based on the way you receive those calls. If you're friendly, if you're courteous, if you're professional receiving those calls. I'm not saying the nervousness and anxiety and all that is gonna go. It's not gonna. It probably never goes away. I mean, even myself, I still feel a little tinge of nervousness when I pick up the phone and call a stranger, or someone who I've never spoken to. But it makes it easier. It makes it much easier than had I had a negative view towards unsolicited or cold phone calls. Try that out. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I think this is a very deep topic, so make sure you take some time, think about that, process that. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Let me know if you think I'm crazy and I've totally lost it. In either case, like, comment, share. Let me know your thoughts. I'd really like to know what you think. And if you're in job search mode right now, keep it going. Keep pushing forward, and if there's any specific topics you want me to cover, let me know. Give me a heads up. Again, comment below. Really appreciate all of you commenting, liking, sharing. Greatly appreciate it. I will continue to put out content consistently. As you can see, I'm doing more videos, trying to do that more often. And that's about it. And again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dean Kulawira. I'm with SRA Staffing. We're an IT staffing agency based in the Yonge and Sheppard area. Any way I can help you whatsoever. If you have any questions, if you need help in your job search, maybe you want to find out what IT roles I'm currently working on in the Greater Toronto area, don't hesitate in giving me a call. You can catch me on my office line Monday to Friday during standard business hours, 416-296-1772, extension 2036. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening.